I'm Will, back at it again. That's ORA, an important brand for UK consumers, and this is China driven. These are the ORA Good Cats, and they're especially important if you are a UK consumer looking to purchase an EV, because these are going to be available to buy in the UK. That is the ORA Good Cat, and that is the ORA Good Cat GT. Let's have a look around them and see what they're all about. So let's talk about price of this, the ORA Good Cat. This is the standard body variant. Now, in British pounds, the price in China ranged from £12,000 up to £16,600. Now, when it comes to the UK, I expect the price to be higher than that, but supposedly it will still be one of the cheapest EVs on the market with a decent range. In dollars, it's about $16,600 all the way up to $22,300. It is a fairly cheap EV with a decent range, and we'll get onto that later. Let's go and have a look at the GT. Now, this is the Good Cat GT, and it's a more powerful, sportier version, and the pricing for this is £15,600 or $21,200. It looks pretty damn sporty if you ask me. So let's go over the base stats of the ORA Good Cat. It's got 143 horsepower and 210 Newton meters of torque all through the front wheels, and that's good for a 0 to 100 kilometers an hour or 0 to 62 miles an hour dash time of 7.9 seconds, and it will go on to a top speed of 93 miles an hour. Now, this Good Cat GT has some sporty pretenses, and the performance backs that up. It has 171 horsepower and 250 Newton meters of torque. That's good for a 0 to 100 kilometers an hour or 0 to 62 miles an hour in 6.9 seconds, and onto a top speed of 100 miles an hour. Now, that is all through the front wheels. Good old hot hatch kind of territory. Maybe nowadays it might fall into the category of a warm hatch, but either way, should be a laugh. The battery size in this ORA Good Cat is between 45.99 and 59.1 kilowatt hours, and that's good for a range of between 401 and 501 kilometers or 250 miles to 311 miles, depending on the model variant that you get. Now, once it comes to the UK, do expect those ranges to fall a little bit, because these are based on the NEDC, which is known to be a bit more generous. Now, this car can of course use DC fast charging, and it will charge from 20 to 80% in the industry standard of half an hour. Now, this ORA Good Cat GT comes with the largest battery size of 59.1 kilowatt hours, but you don't get the same range you do on the longest range of the normal Good Cat, mostly because this has got more poke and more get up and go, so the range is a little bit less, 480 kilometers or just shy of 300 miles at 298 miles. Now, that's on the NEDC, so again, when this comes to Britain, expect that range estimate to be lower. It's pretty sporty in here. We'll come back to that. Okay, so the ORA Good Cat and the ORA Good Cat GT both come with the exact same tyres. They're Gitty Comfort 225 tyres. They're actually 215/50 all the way around on both models, and both models come with 18-inch alloy rims. Here in the Good Cat, it's these silver 5-spoke rims. Now, on the GT, they're definitely sportier. Let's go have a look. I'm not going to get up. You're not going to see that. See? I told you they're sportier. These are the 18-inch rims that you get on the Good Cat GT. And you can see that there's multi-spoke design with this kind of red little bit on the interior here, and red brake calipers. Red is an accent colour that you'll find all around the GT, including in the interior, giving it a more sporty feeling. I don't know what this is. So the boot of the ORA Good Cat, of course, is automatic. You can also get a induction tailgate where you wiggle your foot underneath and it will open as an option. Now, with the seats up, the boot space is quite small. It's only 288 litres. Now there is some space underneath the boot floor for all your charging cables, etc, etc. Now if you remove what seems to be the world's smallest parcel shelf and you drop those seats, you've now got a massive 855 litres. Sure, you can't take anybody with you, but then again, I'm not a people person, so it doesn't bother me. I know what a lot of you are thinking, looking up here at the automatic headlights, which are all LED, including the LED daylight running lights, which ring the headlights. You're thinking, that looks familiar. And there's been a lot of comparisons drawn between the headlights and the way the front end looks to, well, there's no other way to say it, Porsches. And there's a good reason for that. You see, the head designer of this car is an ex-Porsche designer, so it makes sense that, you know, he bought some Porsche flair. So you can see this brake light runs all the way across the bottom of the window screen. It's pretty unique. It's also got a third brake light up there in the spoiler. But it's definitely a unique look, and at night you definitely know what you were following. So let's quickly have a look around the exterior of this Good Cat GT. Now, first things first is that it's got these little red accents all around the car. On the front spoiler, the rims, the red brake caliper, at the back on the side of the spoiler, as well as this fake carbon fibre little body kit. And I think it looks quite wicked. Especially, you know, we've talked about the kind of front end and the headlight with a Porsche-esque design, but I think this is a really good looking little hot hatch. I just hope that ORA stick another motor in this thing and really make it shine. 7.9 seconds to 60, sorry, 6.9 seconds to 60 for this GT version. I mean, it's not a slouch, but, you know, come on ORA, give us one that does 5 seconds. So yeah, so it's got that sporty little spoiler up top, and it's got some red going on there, even round here, underneath here, it's all painted red. But I think it's a really clean back end with this massive fake diffuser down here, really adding to that kind of sportiness. Some people might think it's over the top, it hasn't got the, you know, kind of performance to back it up, but it looks good, man. If they shove another motor on this, looks the part already. Honestly, every angle that I walk around this car, I think it looks pretty damn good. Now, the regular ORA Good Cat is much more subtle in its design, and ORA kind of brand this more towards women, you know, with its more dainty styling, if you like. So the ORA Good Cat GT and the normal ORA Good Cat can both be had with ORA Pilot, which is a level 2 ADAS system. They both can be had also with a 360-degree camera setup as well. Now, we will get one of these, a GT, and we will do an in-depth review and go through all the ins and outs of the stuff it's got. Welcome to the interior of the Good Cat GT. Now, the regular Good Cat interior is pretty much the same as this, but it's in 4 different colorways, whereas for the GT version, this is the only color that you can get, this kind of black and red, sporty. You got red on the steering wheel, red on the dash, contrast red stitching on the armrest, got a bit of red over here on this armrest as well, some red on the chairs, and the GT red logo stitched into the headrest. Overall, a sporty-esque feeling. There's 2 screens in here, the instrument panel and the central touchscreen. The instrument panel is 7.25 inches and the central touchscreen is 10.25 inches. Now first we'll talk about the touch points in here. They're pretty good. You've got a knurled metal gear selector down here, a knurled metal selector for the wing mirrors, metal door handles and a bit of metal trim. The dash is actually kind of, I don't know, like a kind of like rough leather sort of feeling material. There are some harder plastics in certain areas, but overall, for the price especially, not bad at all. Now, I do like the switches for the air conditioning
They're kind of like these aeroplane kind of switches where you kind of click them down like that. I think they're pretty cool, and these kind of loops just add to that kind of feeling. Back here behind that gear selector is where you'll find the parking brake and to turn on and off the auto hold. There is an internal camera in here, as well as there's a dash cam as well for recording, you know, what's going on the road in case of an accident. Now over here on the A pillar, this thing sticking out here is a drowsiness monitor, but this car can also recognize your face, and you can set up profiles, and when it recognizes your face, it will move the seat, turn on the air conditioning, change the interior lighting, all to your preferences. So it's kind of like memory function, but automatically to your face instead of pressing 1 on the side there. It's pretty cool. Again, also to mention here, it does have an induction phone charger as well. There are also a couple of USB sockets down there at the front, and a 12-volt socket down there as well. Sound wise, there is a 6-speaker system in here, and I think that's alright. There's no audio time partner, just a 6-speaker kind of system. You know, 2 in the door at the front, 2 tweeters and 2 in the back doors. You know, pretty standard stuff. But generally on the surface, I mean, it seems to me like a pretty decent little car. I think it'll be right at home in the UK, personally. Oh, one more thing. In the GT version, as standard, you do get 6-way adjustable driver's seat and 4-way adjustable passenger seat up here in the front. And of course, everything nowadays, electric windows all the way around. Alright, so we're in the back. I'll just quickly put the seat in roughly where I would drive, not being too far back, kind of gangster leaning, but in a normal, respectable driving position. And I tell you what, I'm astonished by the leg room. Maybe I would come back a little bit more, but still, I mean, there's plenty of space to come back. In the back here, you know, the red and black interior is carried on. These headrests also have the GT stitched into them. Red seat belts throughout. That's a pricey option on a Porsche, but in here, standard on the GT. There's of course, you know, an armrest, couple of cup holders, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. There's one USB between 2 or 3 people in the back here, which is, you know, it's evil. It's evil. Apart from that, I mean, it's a fairly standard back seat. There's not really that much special to say about it. These seats are done in this kind of rough leather in the back for the centres, whereas in the front they're perforated, and that's because they have heating, ventilated and massage seats in the front, which is, again, not bad on such a car. Back here, I mean, the sunroof ends up here, so there is no sunroof directly above the passengers back here, but overall, you know, it's really not that small in the back. And I guess that again is one of the beauties of an EV, but also I guess it's because the boot with the seats up is so tiny. They've given a lot more room inside. So this is the ORA Good Cat's interior. Here it's in this kind of coffee brown and cream combination. Now in the GT version you get that red and black interior. This is one of 4 colours that you can get in the ORA Good Cat. Now there is no stitching like on the GT version, but they do have this quilted kind of leather here and the quilted contrast stitching over here. You still get the metal touch points like the gear selector and the kind of AC controls. And this car is not the bottom, but it's not the top. It's somewhere near the top. It's got the ORA Pilot. It doesn't have ventilated seats or massage seats, unlike the GT that we saw earlier. But overall, I think the colour combination is quite nice. And the level of materials are exactly the same as on the GT model. It's just a bit of a colour difference. And again in the back you've got the quilted stitching going on, and a continuation of the colorway in here. Other than that, similar to the GT in terms of size, exactly the same in fact. It might look a little bit bigger, but that's because this seat is pretty much all the way back and I've still got plenty of room.
ORA's Good Cat offering looks decent, with a lot of higher level options not normally found on such a small EV. The Good Cat, and especially the tasty looking Good Cat GT, feel like they'll be right on the money for the UK market. We've always loved a good ride in a hatch, and now we might have it in EV form. We'll have to drive it to see if it delivers on the fun small hatch values we Brits love. That was the ORA Good Cat and ORA Good Cat GT. They're my fish, and this is China Driven.